Within the ranks of the Excoriator Space Marine chapter exists a unique genetic curse that strikes both the mind and body of a battle brother. This genetic flaw is known as Dorns Darkness. It is a rare example of a deficiency within the gene seed of Space Marine successor chapter that doesn't manifest in its parent chapter. Similar to the Black Rage found within the Blood Angel Space Marine chapter, Dorns Darkness also creates a hallucinogenic vision that makes the Afflicted feel like they are no longer part of this reality. But the darkness goes a step further by affecting the Battle Brothers' muscles to the point of paralysis. And with that said, I want to welcome you guys back to another 40 Facts about the 40K universe. I am your host, Gersh1, and today we're going to be talking about Dorns Darkness. If you guys are new to the channel, we post Warhammer 40K lore videos every single day. And if you guys like this type of content, please hit the like button, consider sharing with your friends on Facebook, Reddit, or whatever social media you guys use, and subscribe to the channel. With that said, let's get into 40 facts on Dorns Darkness. Dorns Darkness is a genetic deficiency suffered by one of the successor chapters of the Imperial Fist, the Excoriator Space Marine chapter. When Dorns Darkness takes one of their numbers, it might appear to the untrained eye as a mere wretched palsy, a slackness of the jaw, a tremor of the limb, a blackness of the eye. But those who survive it report the experience as a living nightmare, a sleeping wakefulness in which they relive the bottomless woes of Dorn's most trying time, the terrible mortal wounding of the Emperor of Mankind during the final hours of the Battle of Terra. This could be seen as both the genetic blessing of the sons of Dorn's Primarch and a curse upon his sons. It is to know the possibility, for even a slight second, of an Imperium without the Emperor, to feel what Dorn felt, believing that the Emperor was dead. It is a paralyzing fear that even a man as great as Dorn experienced as he stood above the Emperor's broken body after the end of the battle with Horus. While enthralled within the darkness, its victims cannot speak or communicate. They cannot feed themselves or even take in water and seem feverishly insensible to everything happening around them. The process of this genetic curse is somewhat of a mystery for anyone outside of the chapter. At first, the Battle Brother will begin to receive blood-curdling visions of the Emperor's fall, but they will only last mere seconds. This terrible glimpse into the past will be accompanied by small shocks throughout their joints and muscles, or some type of sensation of weakness that lingers for a while, usually as the Space Marine tries to make sense of the horror he just witnessed. As time moves on, the hallucinations will become longer and longer, and some of the physical effects will become more and more severe until they stay for good. It is at this moment that few Battle Brothers can actually hide the symptoms of this genetic curse, as they experience consistent and involuntary tremors of the face and the neck muscles. What's actually happening is that each episode is damaging the demigod's nerve endings, which comes with gradual pain and discomfort. Eventually, the darkness strikes the entire body, but by that point, the Space Marine's face muscles have already been wrecked by the curse, and they will lose control of their facial expressions. Uncontrolled squints, blinking, or closing of the eyelids will prevent many of the Battle Brothers from operating at an optimal efficiency. It becomes an extremely heartbreaking and saddening thing to see a Battle Brother slowly degrade into a shaking, twisting husk of a man, his face drooling and his body unable to perform basic functions. Through the entire process, the Space Marine is self-aware of his decaying health and his inability to control his own body. This loss of control will eat away at his psyche until he decides that it's better to sink into the false reality of his visions rather than to experience the embarrassment and the failure of this curse. Some succumb to the darkness during their training or in between campaigns. Others fall to the darkness during a battle, leaving them helpless in the face of the enemy. It's not clear which outcome is worse. The fact that this curse only affects the Excoriator Space Marine chapter and not any other successor chapter of the Imperial Fist is a complete mystery. It has led many to believe that there is something within the initiation process of the chapter that sparks this genetic flaw. As much as the Magos biologists of the Adeptus Mechanicus would love to probe and examine the gene seed implantation process or review the initiation rituals, which are rumored to be extremely self-deprecating, no chapter master has ever sanctioned such an examination, and their honor and victories through their long history has given the chapter the autonomy it asked for both the High Lords of Terra and their parent chapter. Those Battle Brothers who fall victim to the darkness are left to the care of the chapter's Santiarch, or the Senior Chaplain. The current Senior Chaplain is Santiarch Belshazzar. He offers the victims of the darkness a spiritual treatment that could either cure them or ultimately result in their death. Since the Excoriators are often a fleet-bound chapter, he has the Afflicted interned within a decorative stasis casket that is transported from the chapter's reclusium of their homeworld of Eshar. The casket is beaten from dull adamantium, and the box has the dimensions of a sarcophagus and the extravagant ganture to match it. Its front piece features a raised depiction of the Emperor. Even though the casket stands upright, it represents the Emperor as prone, maimed, and broken, as he was immediately following the confrontation with Horus at the end of the Battle of Terra. The Santiarch solution to the affliction of the darkness is to create a spiritual darkness of his own within the stasis sarcophagus. It is the most solitary of confinements, where no self-respecting excoriator needs to look upon his own weakness, and where he might summon the strength and the will to banish the darkness of the Primarch and recover his sanity. It is not known whether or not the excoriators are the only Imperial 5th successor chapter afflicted by this genetic deficiency. It's not entirely known what percentage of Battle Brothers manifest Dorns Darkness. Very few heroes have ever been recorded as victims of the flaw. This could be because many Battle Brothers that sense the darkness coming will take on larger and larger risks in battle. To many of them, it is best to die fighting rather than fall victim to the darkness. Severe trauma seems to accelerate the curse. Unsurprisingly, the chapter's morbid fascination with pain and ritual scarring increases the damage of Dorns Darkness. Whether or not this curse will ever be conquered is a question left to the chapter's Master of Sanctity. And that's the lore of Dorns Darkness. Thank you guys so much for listening, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. This is Gershwin with One Mind Syndicate, signing out.
Always used to put my freedom first, and then